I've had scoliosis since I was a kid. Of course, you were born with it. Part of the times I'd be bent over or I'd be, they wanted to put a rod down my back.
Bonnie Bowles remembers suffering with back pain in school.
I was in the pep club. Different people would hold on to me because I'd about black out and just have problems standing there that long.
She married Tony in 1974, and the couple had 3 children.
It was hard carrying baby carriers or anything like that when the kids were littler, and I think it was just something I thought I had to live with.
Her doctor fit her for a back brace.
That was horrible because the worse my back seemed to get, the brace wouldn't fit.
I was concerned that she may get to the point where she was completely disabled from it after a period of time because it just didn't seem to ever be getting any better.
Despite the pain, Bonnie tried to live a normal life.
I was told that I should just live in a glass house by one doctor and just watch life go on. I was like, not me.
Throughout their marriage, her husband Tony often had to work on her back to straighten her out enough to function.
Going to the chiropractor helps a lot. Then my husband would work on me at home in between chiropractor visits.
Dr. John Pachorik is a chiropractor in Springfield, Ohio, who treated Bonnie for many years.
The biggest thing I've been seeing Bonnie for over the years is probably chronic low back pain. Just always nagging her. She would always get adjusted, so chiropractic adjustments. She would do different therapies sometimes. With a scoliosis, especially lumbar spine, usually they're degenerative. So usually, over years they get worse and worse. You start getting arthritis building up, and it can have an impact on the discs.
Meanwhile, Tony and Bonnie continued to pray for God to intervene.
I would pray for healing for the scoliosis because I knew someday it could be healed very easily. So it just wasn't the time yet.
In August of 2019, the Bowles were watching the 700 Club when her husband heard a word of knowledge.
I had been diagnosed with a badly torn rotator cuff on my right side, and Terry prayed for somebody with a right shoulder issue to be healed. And I felt something like, it's hard to describe it was almost like fingers, very light fingers going into my shoulder. When I was done, I lifted my arm up and it was like there was absolutely no pain. It was like, what? So I went and told Bonnie, I said, and she said, did you hear him praying for that? And I said, well, yeah. She said, did you claim it? And I said, yeah, I did.
Bonnie then called the 700 Club to report her husband's healing in his shoulder. Before the counselor hung up, he asked if she had any other prayer needs.
So I said, well, I have scoliosis. I would love to get rid of that. And he goes, scoliosis? I was prayed for over the phone, and I suddenly became taller and was popping buttons and stuff, and I'd be glad to pray for you. And I said, well, I'd be glad to have you pray for me. And he did, and it was like, oh my gosh, I think something happened. I said, well, I know how to test it, because I usually use the weed whacker going outside along the ditch, and I can't do it all at once. So that afternoon, I got out there and I went and did the whole yard.
Bonnie then went to see her chiropractor.
He verified it then. You should have seen his eyes because he could tell the difference.
She noticed an immediate reduction in pain after the prayer, almost to the point where she thought it was too good to be true. Not as much low back tension, things were straightened out. The inflammation that's usually plaguing her, that's usually following her, was significantly improved. I mean, just her range of motion, her movement patterns were completely different. I mean, it was a beautiful thing to see.
Now Bonnie is fully functioning and pain-free.
I can do stuff that hurt before, lift them to grandkids. And now I can go to the football games and the school concert, all kinds of things like that, and I don't have to be sitting there hurting. It's gone. It's gone. It's just been wonderful.
Tony and Bonnie are grateful to God for healing them both.
God doesn't do things imperfectly, He does them perfectly. So with His healing, it's always right.
Hey, just keep believing and keep praying. I just knew that someday it would happen, and it did.